Um, okay, now, as far as my heritage, I've got quite a mixture of heritage, like most of our Native American people today. Sure, there are some people that are full-blood Native American, many, many more that are half Indian, many, many more than that that are one-quarter Indian, and you could go on and on and on. And we're quite a mixture of heritage. This isn't 1816, this is 2016. So there's been a lot of mixture, not just with non-Indians, but also with members of other tribes. So we all basically have a lot of heritage in our background. In my case, I do have the Chippewa Cree. That's from northern Wisconsin. Missinaba Cree is from southern Ontario, Canada. I also have English, Scottish, and German. And that's not too uncommon. On the German side, I don't know very much about that side of my family. I believe I was told many years ago that my grandfather, the German side, was born in southern Germany, Bavaria area. That's all I know. But anyway, I have a German last name, very German, Volkman. On my mother's side, besides the Indian, there's the Scottish, and the surname is Dunbar. Dunbar. That's not far from Edinburgh, Scotland, on the North Sea coast. And we had a castle. I've done a lot of research on that. So many people are trying to research their Native American heritage, and I'm trying to research my non-Indian heritage. And then the English is Whitney, and that comes from Eli Whitney, inventor of the cotton gin. So it's got to be a brother or sister of his, because he wasn't married, didn't have any kids. So but somehow I'm related to that. Now, I didn't grow up most of my life with the Anishinaabe. Chippewa and Ojibwa are the same people. People think they're two different tribes, but they're the same people. Just depends what locality your reservation is. And some are called Chippewa and some are called Ojibwe. We would call ourselves Anishinaabe, the people. Most of the original names of the tribes translates as the people, naturally. And but I didn't grow up so much with my Anishinaabe Chippewa heritage. I was adopted in an Indian way by a family from Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. They're the Ladue Red Clouds. And Fillmore Ladue is my foster father. And so that's more my cultural identity, my background, as far as the Indian side goes. It's what you call Sioux, the correct term is Dakota. Sioux is actually, if you go back historically, the term Sioux is insulting. It's derogatory. It comes from the Ojibwa. Now the Ojibwa and the so-called Sioux were not very good friends. They fought all the time. And as I was growing up with the Dakota, they should have called me two strikes against me, because there I was a blue-eyed Chippewa living with the Sioux. You know, I had to defend myself when I was young. The blue eyes, of course, come from my German and English and Scottish side of the family. Anyway, we speak many different languages, and people will. Can anybody guess how many languages throughout the Americas now? We're not just talking about Native Americans in the United States. We're talking about the entire Western Hemisphere. That used to be all Indian country before we lost. It was all from the tip of Alaska to the tip of southern South America. Guess how many languages we spoke? I'll have people walk up to me and they say, "Do you speak American Indian?" There's no such thing as the American Indian language. That's like asking a Frenchman, an Italian, or somebody from Switzerland, do you speak European? Kind of a stupid question. They don't mean harm, but kind of stupid, because there's so many. Every country in the world has minority groups, not just the United States. There's always a major language spoken in that country. There's different dialects of that language, just like in the United States. There's different dialects of English spoken. There's a couple I can't even understand when they're talking. But every country has minority groups, and the minority groups usually speak their own language. Throughout the world, today, as we are in this room, today human beings speak approximately 5,000 distinctly different languages. Today, English is just one of 5,000 languages spoken. Now, it used to be about 7,000. But languages are being lost as elders pass on, and the tribe doesn't teach it purposely, which some of them are doing nowadays. The language is lost forever. But throughout the Americas, Native Americans, 500, 600, 700 years ago, before white contact, before things happened for changes, our tribes alone spoke close to 4,000 different dialects and languages. 4,000. I speak several languages. I lived with an Amazon tribe in South America for 2 years. I learned their language to communicate with them. And I also speak Spanish because I lived and worked in different countries in Latin America. Our tribes a lot of them have what they call immersion schools. So the language is not forgotten. They want the kids to learn the language. They want them to learn English, be good English speakers, but be bilingual. Speak 2 languages, speak 3 languages. It's kind of an asset to be able to do that. I use Spanish all the time. My wife speaks fluent Spanish too. And so that it's just, the diversity of tribes is so incredible. All the tribes are different. People think we all live in teepees, that we all chase buffalo. Of course, that we all speak the same language and so on. The tribal cultures are all different. A tribe, just like any village, their lifestyle, their beliefs, and their homes and so on are based upon the geography of the area that they're in. Rochester, the setting of Rochester is based on the original geography of the area. And you build homes around the hills or on top and along the rivers and so on. So the geography of an area very much shapes the community, and so it does with all the tribes. Tribes that live in the desert Southwest are very, very different than tribes that live in the North Woods in the United States, for example. Tribes that live in the Everglades in Florida are quite different than the tribes that live in the Rocky Mountains. Tribes that live in the plains are very different than tribes that live in California, and so on. They're all different. They're all different. Each one has their own history to tell. They have their own type of dress, their own type of food. Every tribe has hundreds of different songs. You just name an occasion and we got a song for it. And I'll try to sing, if I don't lose my voice, I'll try to sing parts of the song for you. French came into northern Minnesota and encountered the Ojibwa. They said, "Who are those people out there south of you in the plains?" And the Ojibwa said, "Nadiwasu, Nadiwasu," which means enemies, snakes in the grass. We don't like them. So the French shortened Nadiwasu to Sioux, and that's how the term Sioux got stuck on the Dakota people. And within the Dakota language, we speak 3 different dialects of the same language. In Minnesota, the dialect is Dakota. You get a little further west between Minnesota and the Dakotas, and they spoke Nakota. The furthest west of our Dakota people spoke Lakota. And that's the people that I spent so much of my life with, the Lakota people.